In this video I'm going to go through The Rig, which was released on Prime Video in January 2023. Prior to watching, I'd seen a lot of adverts and hype about this show, so I was intrigued to see what it had to offer.
Power outage across the accommodation block.
Could it have been seismic?
Well, we keep punching holes in the earth, eventually it's going to punch back.
The premise is, a group of workers on a remote Scottish oil rig are due to return to the mainland, when a mysterious fog cloaks them and supernatural forces take hold.
Oh my God.
First off, I love the setting of this show. It's unique, isolated, and the day-to-day goings-on of an oil rig are somewhat unknown to the general public. Similarly, it was refreshing that it was set in Scotland, or Scottish waters, to be more exact, because most British-based shows tend to be set in England. Also because of the British setting and the almost exclusively British cast, this show kind of felt like it would feel right at home on the BBC.
What's happening?
That's what you get for diving into the abyss.
Nature isn't a balance, it's a war.
I'm telling you, he's trying to warn us. We're all finished.
Wake up!
He's got to be dealt with.
So anyway, as the mystery unfolds and it becomes apparent what the source of the fog is, I found it unnerving and a thought-provoking theory. The plot of the show seemed well conceived and it was intriguing to see how characters reacted to the situation because it exposed flaws of human nature and our innate selfishness when it comes to survival. Some characters clearly coped better than others, and some let their tempers get the better of them.
Is to get you all home.
You don't negotiate with nature.
You're all being reckless!
It isn't something new. It's something old.
I also want to say that the acting in this was fantastic, with each actor really owning their respective role. With regards to the casting, it was great that there were several female characters as well as actors of colour. As The Rig is billed as a sci-fi show, I was expecting it to be similar to Doctor Who. However, The Rig doesn't follow the same format. In Doctor Who, tension continually rises and falls, and each new piece of information can never be trusted. Basically, you never know how close you are to a final resolution. On the other hand, in The Rig, there is an incremental increase in tension as the episodes progress and clues are slowly revealed, which I don't think works for a 6-episode series. By about episode 3 it got somewhat boring, and by episode 4 I was only half paying attention. There was a lack of suspense and jeopardy to drive the drama forwards at the beginning. The final episode was the only episode which packed a punch.
It's doable.
That's too risky.
I'll do it.
Doesn't have to be here.
Well, it's less of a risk if you might be dead already.
Also, I think the characters were not compelling enough, and none of them seemed very likable or had believable friendships with one another. So much so, that I stopped caring about their outcomes towards the end.
And it's waking up. We're listening now.
The ending left too many questions, or rather too many than would be a reasonable cliffhanger. For example, where were the rescue helicopters flying to? Did Baz survive or not? How bad was the tsunami wave that hit the coast? Because the tsunami wave was only hinted at, and we never actually saw it. Basically, my issue is that we don't know anything about the characters' outcomes. It feels like the show introduced all these questions, kept gradually building the tension for 6 episodes, missed out important scenes at the very end, and left the viewer hanging. It feels frustrating to have watched 6 hours to not be much wiser than at the start, and I wouldn't watch a second series for fear of the same happening.
Time to shine.
I went into this fully expecting a supernatural thriller, and whilst there were brilliant parts, there were as equally many not so brilliant parts. I found this show an interesting watch, but it ultimately fell flat in several areas, and I wasn't overly satisfied with the ending.